Hi folks, I'm Josh, and welcome to Valhalla. I want to show you around how it works, what kind of things to expect, and my thoughts on how good this game is. Now, you may be aware that it is a bartender and action thing, but there are also some kind of side objectives. You get to affect how the characters and the conversations go, but overall, it is a visual novel of sorts. And set in a cyberpunk world, you get to explore how that world operates and how people feel about the things happening. It kind of does some modern day allegory things for things that are happening on the internet. The developers clearly spend a very long time on the internet. See, first, you have to make sure you have at least $800 by the 17th. Because that's your rent, and you can buy yourself things to make yourself happier, and you can browse blogs. So if you go onto your phone, look at this here, you get to talk to people, and sometimes you may affect how things in the world go. I got this. She's a singer, and this is her blog. I got her drunk in the previous day before I went to the concert. So, I don't know. Are you ready for the Dome concert? Oh, okay. No, this was before. So, I was just wondering if that affected her performance. Maybe she got really, really, really drunk. And you can do that by mixing drinks differently. There's no real kind of losing unless you actively try to mess up making cocktails, and then you don't get money, you annoy people. That changes the way the conversations go. Anyway, let's go to work. Waifu bartender. Whoops, I banged the mic boom. Sorry. This is where we work, and this is what you will be staring at for most of the game. This little box down here is where almost everything happens. They're these cute animations with these beautifully pixel arted characters. So this dude, you work with him, Julian, although everyone says he looks like a John. Like his face looks like a John. Not as in a toilet, but he should be called John. And I kind of agree with that little weird goatee thing. And you also talk to characters and they have like facial reactions. And it gives the whole place like a really good feeling. Overall, you will be sentence by sentence looking at this bottom left corner here, and I don't know. It's very the text is clear and everything, but there's a lot of clicking involved, and I'm very lazy. But let's kind of explore the cyberpunk world through the eyes of the patrons that come to your bar and mix them drinks. Make yourself comfortable while I prepare. Right, thanks. We get to choose a ton of awesome soundtracks, and they're all kind of synthy 80s music-y things. Kind of things. And you get to remove them and put them back in and whatever. And that's a nice touch, because there's enough music in the game that if you don't like something, you don't have to listen to it. And it is time to mix drinks and change lives. What was that? Oh, just something they made me say back in instruction. It kind of stuck. All the characters that you meet will have an opinion or like a perspective on one aspect of this cyberpunk world. And it's a really cool way of learning about how the world operates. Because I'll assume it's either an autograph or an impromptu medicine thingy, and because I think it's cool because they kind of mesh together. Sometimes someone will mention one thing and then another character will mention it from another perspective, or they'll know each other or something like that, and it builds a picture. Even though you're kind of stuck in this bar, as everyone's relaxing, it does that trope of like, sit down, have a drink and tell me your woes, because I'm the bartender, I'm here, I'm your friend. And they talk about you, or to you. I don't know if they talk about you. They ask you questions and your character answers. You don't get to choose any answers. The only thing that you get to choose in this game is how you mix the drinks. like I said, you can fail by messing up. And there are some ways you can mess up accidentally, but for the most, you get to... you get everything laid out in front of you, and it's very easy to get everything right and get money and pay rent. But there are different endings. So if you want the good ending or the bad ending, not that I've seen any of them, but I've seen the achievement list, and there's like one for a good ending and one for a bad ending. So I have literally no idea how that difference happens. I'm assuming it's like you either serve the drinks they want or you serve the drinks they don't want. The other thing that can affect how the conversations go is, or at least the game says, I haven't gone back and like tried different ways because I've only played 3 days worth of this game, and honestly that took like each day lasts about 45 minutes worth of reading text and making drinks, so it's worth it. Okay, so we have to make a bad touch, and apparently we have been pissed off by this Alma character. I've not been reading the text, by the way, I've just been clicking it at random points. I think something about, they were talking about sex or something, I don't know. Anyway, bad touch. Boom, everything's laid out before you. Here we are. 2 Bronson extract, 2 powdered delta, 4 carmetrine, and 2 flanagride. Whoops, reset. I messed that one up. I was not paying attention. I was trying to roll my R's. There's some things that the game doesn't... It teaches you at the beginning, but it kind of abstracts into your decisions. So there's a thing called making a big drink where you just double all of the ingredients. There's things like optional carmetrine, which is the alcoholic part. And this is what I was saying earlier. You can affect the conversations, I think, by adding in or removing carmetrine. If it says optional carmetrine. So you might just be able to get people pissed, which sounds quite fun. And a lot of the time, the characters reveal a bit extra if they seem pissed, which happened in a previous day where this big singing star came in, and then she revealed some secrets because I served her lots of alcohol. Anyway, click on the thing to serve it, and then it just goes straight back in to the visual novel. And I think I quite like the mixing drinks to change the way the conversation flows. I like that as a way of changing your talky path. I don't know. On the other hand, having no control over the main character, some people might not like that. I don't have a problem because it's all your character does have a personality. It's not like overwhelming. They just kind of react to the characters as opposed to like doing most of the talking. Most other characters do all the talking, and Jill, your character, asks them questions mostly, like things that a lot of the time I'm thinking. I'm like, why did you say that? Or like, oh, hang on. And it leads you down a path of thought, which is quite nice. One of the nicest things I think this game does is it kind of either pokes fun at or just replicates some parts of the internet that may not be so nice. So first off, it has a 4chan board, basically, app that you can go to and see people shit talking each other, but then on the other side of it there's like this militaristic police force called the White Knights. For instance, in the first day there's this character who's obviously feminist. I mean, she doesn't have a stamp on her head saying feminist or anything like that. I mean, she's made fun of because she gets very, very upset at the circumstances she's in, but despite that, your character Jill empathizes with her, and she is actually acting reasonably for the circumstances. So it kind of does this thing where like this woman's being really silly, but at the same time it's not mean-spirited, and it does make for some really amusing conversations. It tells a nice story of a nice Cyberpunk world, and I feel that's what you're going to come to this game for. So hopefully my ridiculous ramblings have been useful to you for your purchasing decisions. If you want to see a Let's Play of this, then there's a link in the description. And if you've enjoyed, then subscribe for more of this and all sorts of other indie games. But until next time, mustache.